We'd like to give a patron shout out, and today's patron shout out goes to Richie, not that one, McRae. Thank you, Richie McRae. Thanks for really clinging on, because I understand it's,
it's difficult.
It's
difficult.
We're difficult.
Everything about this situation is difficult.
But at the end of the day, do you know who's not difficult? You, Richie. Thanks so much.
And George is when it's lubed.
Thank you. Good night.
Welcome to the Horror Hour.
We all go a little mad.
You Here's Johnny.
Hey guys, George Alexa. Oh, sorry, it's the wrong channel. Hello and welcome to the Horror Hour, the place where we discuss, debate,
that was unsettling,
and disagree on all things horror. I'm one of your hosts, George, and today I'm joined by fellow co-hosts. We have Nick.
Hi, my cinnamon ring is ready. Isn't that what he called it? A cinnamon ring or a cinnamon hole? In the person that we can't mention, but
yeah,
in the movie, what does he call it?
Yeah, I think he does call it that.
A cinnamon ring. Hi.
Okay. Hi, Nick. Thanks for that very long intro. And we also have Liam.
I would also like a very long intro, so I'm going to provide a monologue. George Alexander's there, done.
Wow. I'm glad that we got that word in the first minute and a half. So, guys, here's the thing with this.
Are you eating chicken McNuggets?
Of course he is. He's always eating something.
Favorite food.
Oh my god! Yeah, I'm just so excited to be here today, guys. So today, basically, we're doing an episode, and the episode's going to be about what ifs. Okay, so what if George wasn't high right now? Things like that.
What if George chewed with his mouth closed?
I'm just showing the people what's ready for them.
What if George was a professional?
Absolutely. But do you know what happens to professionals? They get ill and die. So we're going to talk about what ifs within the horror realm. So Liam, tell us a bit about that.
So my idea was, I enjoy the Marvel show What If? So I was like, well, what if there was a what if for horror films? So then I was like, well, why don't I make it an episode topic? So it is what if, and then you fill in the blank based on your horror movie that you've picked. That is the basic premise. Let's hope everyone's complete at once.
Yeah.
Because I struggled. I came up with the idea, but the ideas didn't flow.
Well, maybe they'll flow between, we bounce off each other and see what happens.
They could.
Oh, yeah. So, I'll go first because I want to just go first. And so I'm going to go with, of course, the one that's always going to be the top for me, and that is, what if Jill Roberts got away with it? And we could have found out what that would have been until bloody people come in and start messing with things and then change endings, and then we get stuck with a gap, and then and it's all just, and then we end up with films that anyway. So then we just end up with a little bit of a mess. When we could have had the what if with the prepared, or not the prepared, sorry, the original, plan or thought.
Well done, words.
Thank you. With Scream 4 and 5, and that 4 was going to end with the fact that Jill got out, but then there was going to be a voice, and it was like, there's still one alive in here, and it's like, oh, who is it? And it turns out it was going to be Sydney, and that Sydney was going to have amnesia, that bit, okay? And they were going to be in college, and somebody was going to know that Jill did it, and it was going to be a bit like I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream style. And it never transpired, which is really sad. And they did try and do it with the Scream TV series, with the this between series 1 and 2, but I don't think it landed as well as people wanted it to. So my what if,
the whole Scream series, TV series.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I think that one is one of my favorites because I think that she was so close to getting away with it, and I would have loved to have seen a sort of like, and again, I think they've got elements of that with this with Scream 6 was kind of like that as well, with the, you know, Sam was kind of a ghost face, or was being perceived to be one, and then was being pursued by another ghost face. So I suppose they've kind of already got that in. I just would have liked to have seen it with Jill, because obviously I'm a whore.
You're a Jill stan.
Yeah. You
are. So what would have happened?
Well, I think I would believe that she would have got away with it, and I believe that in that film, similar to this, what the original Scream 5 was going to be, is that somebody knew about it, and I would have loved. She would have tried to be going after people as Ghostface to try and get to the person who knew who it was, but it'd be quite a circular thing, and both people dying around them before they both have like a Ghostface fight and then pull their masks off, and then it would obviously end with Sydney turning up, and obviously the other Ghostface doesn't really know Sydney. He's just kind of more after Emma, and she's like, "Who are you?" And she turns around and she goes, "I'm Sydney Prescott, and I remember everything." And then she kills both of them.
Okay.
And
Nick, thoughts, feelings?
You would love it.
I mean, I would be there for it. I was excited for that original idea. I know that Kevin Williamson said that he hadn't completely outlined what the original 6 would have been completely, but he did say that Jill would have been dead after 5. Mm-hmm. And then in part 6, it would have been them basically making like Mark Kincaid to be a suspect. Like the whole arc in the movie was Sydney's killed everybody. She thinks she's safe again. And now her husband is being called into questioning before going into her marriage. I believe that's what he said. I know where the interview is. I just have to re-listen to it again. But he was like, it wasn't as mapped out as I had for 4 and 5. And he was like, but 6, that was the general idea. So I don't know. It would have been cool to see. I think it's a little bit more inventive than how they've brought Sydney back for 5. Yeah. And I'm curious to see what the plot's going to be for the actual 7 as to why they're going to bring her back, putting aside all the ridiculous behind the scenes stuff of why they're probably bringing her back. But narratively, I would like to know to see if it's worth it. Because personally, I'm a person that does not think that Sydney needs to keep being brought back. I think it's becoming a little bit silly at this point. The more she survives, the more it becomes like she's a superhero. So
yeah. Oh well, Liam.
Yeah. I mean, that was the original idea, so I'm happy with it. Am I also happy with the route it has gone? Yes, but I don't see any problems with your what if. So.
Okay.
So the what if circle is complete.
Thank you. Well, I believe it's now going to become a square as we welcome Yutaka into the mix.
Because someone has shoddy internet and turns up 27 minutes late.
I asked for the link, and I did have actual computer issues. I'm not happy about it. So.
We can tell.
Oh, thanks.
Hi, Yutaka.
Hi, Blur.
Hi. Everyone looks so happy. Maybe I'll just hop out because I see grins all around. Cool.
I literally
I'm high.
When is he never? Yes, we've already started. So George has done his first one,
which was what if Jill Roberts survived, obviously. Which is what we talked about the original Scream 5 plot.
Because that is all George knows.
Yeah. So thank you.
So did somebody say, what if Sydney dies?
No, but you could certainly do it if you want.
I mean, if you've mapped that out.
God, no.
Go on then, Liam. Tell us yours.
They haven't even mapped
So my first one is for 10 Cloverfield Lane. And it is, what if Michelle didn't argue with her fiancé on the night of the attacks?
And what would happen?
Basically, John Goodman wasn't in the movie. because I came up with it and then went, oh, that means no John Goodman. Oh, bad times. But what my plan is, now that it has changed, is obviously she doesn't argue with her fiance, which means she stays in New Orleans, which means when the aliens attack, she's still in New Orleans. And the cat is currently playing with the wire for the camera. So give me 1 second while I fish him out from under the desk.
Silly cat.
Like I can't see him. Come here.
Poor cat. He doesn't know any different.
Oh, no, little blue. No, a big boy, isn't you? Yes. Go on. Okay, over here.
Just
Well, that cat's the land on all fours. It's not like I'm throwing him off a wall. I'm throwing him on the carpet. And I'm throwing him like a little bit. So yes, she would have stayed in New Orleans, which means she would have been there for when the aliens attacked. So it kind of takes away the horror element a little bit. But I was thinking it would be like an elevated version of Skyline. So like she's trying to, her and her fiance are trying to escape New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the aliens are attacking. And they have to like figure shit out. And it still ends with her going to Houston. Her boyfriend, her fiance dies, by the way. That's what I'm going with. And then, so it's like it's like a cross between Skyline and that one where they had to escape somewhere, but I can't remember the name of it.
It was that good.
It's not a very good one. But it's like an elevated version of them. So like they're still gonna have like horror-y elements, so they're still gonna be like hiding, it's gonna be like dark and all that kind of jazz. And like obviously the aliens are just gonna come out of nowhere and whatnot. In my head, I was like, this all sounds like a great idea. I'm saying it out loud and I don't think it is now.
It's okay, we're workshopping it. I love it.
Exactly.
Keep going.
But yeah, that is, so it's like it's a fight for survival out of New Orleans with horror elements.
And what would happen?
And because they did, well, in the end, it would end exactly the same. Like she alone would get out of New Orleans, and she would hear the message saying, like, if you can't fight, go to Baton Rouge. If you can fight, go to Houston. She would head off to Houston.
Right.
Where would you go?
Where would I go? I mean, I wouldn't have been got because I wouldn't have left the house.
That's true.
It's a valid choice.
I would have been fast. I would have been fast asleep. I would have just woke up and been like, looked out the window and been like, shit, everyone's dead. Oh well, back to bed. No work.
Let me go make a cuppa.
Close the curtains.
There's no point
I'm
getting
not
up,
here.
sweetheart. You've got no job to go to. Jackie Tyler. Okay, sorry, Liam. Go on.
Queen.
Yeah.
But yeah, can anyone remember Skyline?
I have no idea what it is.
Skyline is.
Damn, even Yutaka doesn't.
Well, I remember
It was that-
like, okay, I felt like it was somewhat like of a surprise hit, but it didn't go anywhere. Like, it didn't really end, though. And it's like, who was it?
Yeah, it kind of just like ended. So it was Mekhi Phifer.
Okay, yes, I know exactly the one you're talking. I have never seen it because
it was Mekhi Phifer and that
ends.
like older rat boy man.
James Franco.
Boy, man.
No, like if Hot Rat Boy Summer was like in the like mid 2000s, he would have been all over it. But yeah, they're like in their apartment, aliens attack, but like the way aliens get here in Skyline is like they shoot a light and the light like draws you in and then you like and then the alien ship takes you away. But then at the end of the film, like they're all dead apart from Hot Rat Boy.
Eric Balfour.
And then he gets taken up. There it is. He's in a horror, isn't he? Texas, that's it.
That's Jesse from Buffy.
Yes.
Oh, Jesse. Buffy.
Yes.
And
So
not
like it's
Mackay
a
Pfeiffer. We were wrong. Donald Faison from Scrubs.
that's it. Yes.
But I knew where you were going, so okay.
Like it's not good. It's not a good film. Well, it's an enjoyable film. Because it's a bit cheesy and whatnot. So it's like an elevated version of that. So like if this was made but by an auteur director.
Okay. That's fair. All right. Thank you very much, Liam. Nick.
Thank you.
How about you?
I am going to go with, what if the parents had been responsible in A Quiet Place and decided to not walk out of the supermarket where they were and have their children walking behind them? For some reason, I don't understand it at all. You would think that given you're in a world in which you can't make any sound, you need to be a little bit more responsible with little tiny children and not have them behind you, which is exactly what they did. And then they were idiots too, because then they went and decided to have sex without a condom and get pregnant. For what? For what reason? What was
silly?
I have no idea.
Straight
but yeah,
people, yeah.
As much as I loved the first movie, I do think that like that's my biggest grievance with it. Is it doesn't make any sense. I don't blame the daughter for giving the kid the toy because they're kids and they don't know any better, but I blame the parents. That was absolutely ridiculous. And being so far away from the kid that you break into a sprint and you still can't catch the kid in time before he gets got. But I think that if that had not happened and they had been responsible parents, that they would not have lost a child. They would not have needed to get pregnant and make another kid in order to replace the one that they lost.
Which is very common.
Yep. So then John Krasinski probably wouldn't be dead. And he would have made it into the sequel. And there would have been less trauma in the family. And I don't know. It would have been a little bit happier.
And him and Cillian Murphy would have got it on.
Well, yes. Oh, he's in the second one, right?
In this, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. I reacted to that, but I forgot. I need to rewatch it before I watch the third one.
He's the one. Where is he? He's in
like
that like
bad
second.
guy, though, right?
No.
No. They knew each other, didn't they? They were in the same town.
Oh, yeah. Emily Blunt knows him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Then who is it that finds the island?
It's that guy who's in the third one as well.
Jamon Hansu.
Is that his name? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I mean, that's not really a spoiler for the, but yeah.
I was going to say, what do you mean? La, 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 la. He was in all the trailers.
Yeah, but Nick doesn't watch trailers sometimes.
I didn't watch the trailer.
Oh.
So what are you going to say to that?
I don't
Maybe.
even remember the second one, so.
But yeah,
And it won't be a surprise when you see the third one.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that would be my choice. That's my
that's
first
a good
pick.
one. All right.
What a rich backstory you provided. Thank you, Nicholas.
Okay, Yutaka, have you got one for us?
Okay, so I was thinking about this, and I thought, what if,
What if silence was golden?
No,
Before there
it's-
was love, there was
so
silence.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yes. What if the stranger never called back? It was so stupid. But more importantly, because, okay, so the movie I love, but it's because the intro is so good. So what if instead of, that intro that either she gets away, he gets caught, and I'm talking about more the original, because the remake's more action-packed and it's fun, but the original then deals with that after effect of her trying to move on with her life and then kind of getting terrorized again. And actually, I take it back. If he didn't get caught, it'd be kind of cool to see if he kept doing this to other people, just roaming around like a serial killer and just knocking people off one by one. No real connection.
Who?
The killer from When a Stranger Calls?
Yeah, you never
Oh.
ever gave him a name.
Do you think
They
we were
do.
talking about something else?
I was like, When he just said, "What if the stranger never called again?" I was like,
Well, the
What?
stranger's the killer.
"Yeah, but you didn't say the name of the movie." So I was like, "I don't understand what he's talking
sorry.
about."
Oh, well, it's called When a Stranger Calls, so I just said
No,
you never called back.
I
No, that was
understood
it.
it.
Yeah. That was just me being dumb. Fine.
No. It's okay. I didn't give it really a good rich backstory.
I'm not even high for once, and I
It'd be like a bit like
don't
in a
even have an
violent nature.
excuse.
You could make it like an in a violent nature movie.
God, no.
Oh,
Please no.
We're already getting a sequel. I don't.
You walked out after 10 minutes. Like,
that tweet did really well. Still does really well. None of you saying me leaving after 5 minutes with the full.
Because you were hoping it
popcorn
was
drink.
Maxine. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Kurt
Actually,
Duncan.
here we. Huh? He
That's
did have a name.
Kurt Duncan, yeah.
Oh,
What of Kurt
come on,
Duncan?
Kurt.
the only Kurt I recognise is Kurt from Glee. That's it, Hummel.
Homo?
No.
Yes,
Well, okay. Thank you, Yutaka.
Hummel the homo.
So I'll go next. And so my next one is this is a niche one, but I think 3 out of the 4 of us here will know. I think just Yutaka won't.
What if
And
Rose died and Jackie took her place?
No, it's not that. Don't be so cruel. Although Yutaka in his Age of Steel reaction with the Cyberman he understood a little bit about how she can be grating when she's like to her dad who's in the parallel universe, and she's like, "Dad," and he's like, "Girl, read the room."
She is my Xander.
She is not like that. You are.
You
out of
need
control.
For me, she is.
you need to
She is.
sort
I said
your
it.
attitude
I
out.
stand by it. I stand by it. Put it on my tombstone, bitch, so you never forget it.
Damn.
Like, if anyone's the Xander of season 1, it's fucking Mickey.
Thank you.
Mickey is the Riley to me.
Well, okay, that's
He's
that's
just
fair.
worse.
But I would not call Rose the Xander.
I mean,
that
that
is
too.
awful. That's
No,
beyond to be.
no.
She's probably more like an Anya.
teenager.
She's better in season 2. I like her in season 2. She's
You just need to sort your taste out. You've got awful taste.
deal with it.
Anyway,
No.
So mine is, what if Alex from Dead Set didn't get bitten? So Alex, for those of you who have seen Dead Set, is my favorite character, and she was the badass queen who came and was like, "Is anyone else in there with you? You got anything else in there with you? Get some supplies. Get some supplies." Anyway, she's an icon legend. Love her. She's also in Torchwood season 3. And in the last episode, because Riz Ahmed, who to me will always be the boyfriend in Dead Set, and now he's suddenly in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's wild to me. He goes because he's like, "Oh, I've got to go get my girlfriend. We know she's in the Big Brother house." And then she doesn't want to leave because they've got this lovely house in the country. They can grow their own vegetables. They've got like water behind them. They've got their own like electricity gated. He decides he wants to leave. She reluctantly goes in the end. And because of that, she gets bitten. And then he has to kill her. And she's like, "I liked our farmhouse." And then he kills her. And it's really sad. And I wish that she hadn't have died. And if they had gone and she hadn't have died, we would have gone to the house, got everyone out. Patrick would never have gotten away because Alex would have shot him in the face the moment she saw the dickhead. And then
Yes.
they wouldn't be able to escape. They all would have hatched a plan. They would have got out safely.
Yes. I fully agree that it would have had a happy ending if she survived.
Yeah. Because, I mean, to be fair, the actor, and well, I can't remember his name, Andrew something, who plays Patrick is just so good in that role.
Oh, fantastic.
Like that producer role, and he just like, "Whose
Yeah.
house do you think you're standing in, you piece of shit?" It's just so good. And then when he gets like killed,
Do the quote from the character I like.
he did a poo in a room and it stank. What's wrong with you,
He's my favorite. I
Pepper?
love her.
You can't do
Pepper.
that. It's a light machine. It's not a light machine. It's a lamp. You'll use up all the air. All right.
Oh, I love Pippa.
She's so good. She's such a funny.
She reminds me of our friend Niall No Chill.
Yes, very much.
Dumb
the
and
same.
Scottish.
Yeah, the two qualities we love. But yeah, so that would be what
Yeah.
I would like. Although I did like the ending because I liked how bleak the ending was, but I just would have. And it is like great into the fact that they all died because of not like because of somebody else. But I suppose that's
just the way life goes,
isn't
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why
That's life.
At least they like killed like I like that about it. Whereas like The Walking Dead was, you know, you should to have a zombie
It is
show
just
that goes on for like 15. So you're like, really? Can we be doing so? Like, I'd rather.
Well, yeah.
So I know, but yeah, that would be my second pick. So Liam, how about you?
I like it. My next pick is Shaun of the Dead, and it is what if Ed was bit and not Pete?
Okay.
So that would obviously mean we would not have Nick Frost throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
And it would mean Nick Frost would die when Pete dies, which means the plan would be completely different.
They would have gone to an airport.
Yeah, well, probably. I think if it was the other way around and it was Pete that survived and not Ed, I think this still would have went to save Barbara and Les. Because I think Pete was a sensible man and he would have known that getting Barbara and getting Les would help Shaun and would make Shaun grow up. So I think he would still keep that as a plan. But I think it would obviously, he wouldn't allow them to go to the Winchester. So that would be out. I do think Pete would be the type of person that would come up with the idea. You would think, oh, that's a good idea. That is what we'll do as a plan. But in this version, they all die. Because yes, Pete comes up with a better idea than just go to the Winchester. But he comes up with a plausible plan. Which means it's going to go wrong. Which means they'll all die. But where Ed and Shaun come up with a stupid plan, and the plan is just too stupid to fail. So mine would have taken it more out of the it would probably take it out of comedy and more into horror, because obviously they would all die and everything would go wrong. But I think everything would kind of be along the same lines. It would go wrong as soon as they've gotten Liz, like it does anyway. But obviously, because they're heading somewhere different and they're not heading to the Winchester, they would just all die because they would be stuck on the streets.
It probably would have been like a what's the name ending? I think the Mist ending, where like they're like,
yes,
let's kill each other, and then like Shaun survives, and then it's like the insane whatever it's called, the host of Serpentine music begins, and you're just like, oh. And because then you get that bit where they do end up like, you know, the dead all do die in the end.
Yeah.
No.
Well, not according to whoever made that film, but yes. So that would, it was all right. I feel like I might have fell asleep and tried to watch it 3 times to try and get through it. Actually,
what movie is that?
The Dead Don't
Dead
Die.
Don't Die.
I thought it was so funny.
I don't know.
It was all right. So yes, that is my take on What If with Shaun of the Dead.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Okay, so mine started as one thing and then evolved into a different thing. So the first thing that the original What If was going to be, what if Helen didn't turn around?
Okay.
But I feel like that would be very, very simple for me, because contrary to what everybody else seems to think, that had she not turned around that she would have made it out, I still don't think that she would have made it out, because that's the direction that the fisherman was coming anyway. So I feel like he would have just like, she was only turned around for like 2 seconds. So I feel like he would have met her right at the end of the alley and just pushed her right back in anyway. So what that turned into is, what if they had in fact just gone to the police after they hit Ben Willis with the car? And I feel like basically they're like, maybe not Barry's. Barry's definitely would have been hit with manslaughter, but he is a rich white male, so his family would have gotten him a reduced sentence, so he would have been fine. Everybody else would have been fine. Helen would have went off and, you know, been a wonderful actress, and then eventually made a baking company called Food Stirs, and, you know, Julie would have, you know, become a hotshot lawyer, and Ray would have continued fishing because that's what he likes to do, and Ben Willis would have been arrested because they would have discovered that he's the one that killed David Egan that very same night, and it would have spared the lives of everybody in the second one. Although, if we include the second one within this continuity, I would imagine that his son would have been pissed off that they got
his son could have come back for just revenge out of
maybe Will would have been like the main bad guy later on. But yeah, they should have gone to the police.
That's a good one.
You
I do like
think
that.
About it. Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you. Yutaka, how about you? Have you got another one?
Since I know you've already passed this because I already watched your reaction and all that, I can bring up Buffy in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the big fight between Buffy and Faith.
Yes, yeah. Season 3 complete, yeah.
Okay, good. So what if instead Faith had won that and actually killed Buffy? And so we'd have to see the ramifications of Faith now trying to, well, essentially she needs to be the Slayer because they need her to help continue on. Meanwhile, though, she's still wrestling, like, she doesn't, you know, she's wrestling inside. She killed Buffy, but did she really wanna? And then, of course, obviously, it changes the whole entire trajectory of just Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which wouldn't make sense. I know it's Buffy, but, you know, I just thought it would be interesting to think how Sunnydale would be without Buffy. Not to say she would be gone, like, completely in a sense. You know, there's still, you know, people can live on in memories, and that can still instill hope and all that. But I'd be curious to see how Sunnydale and the rest of the world would be with that Slayer lineage kind of just with the vampires overtaken. Would Willow have gone? I'm not gonna go that route.
I was like,
yeah, I know. I
there's things I want to say, but I can't say. So you have opened a can of worms where I can't comment on this.
She would have still become a lesbian.
Yes, I know. No, but in, like, what if, you know, God, his name was Seth, right? Seth Green played Seth. Didn't they? Call him? No, Oz. Oz, like, actually had like,
the great and powerful.
Yes, actually, just embraces that and starts actually, like, instead of what we see, it's a little bit more hyper and it's a little bit more violent because obviously, again, it's really resting on Faith, and right now she's not in the headspace to do it. I don't know. I just think that'd be kind of interesting. And then maybe because we all love Buffy, at the end she wakes up and it's all a dream. You know, she didn't really kill her.
But I
would still like to see what if. Like, that would be a crazy effed up world.
Really, like, crazy of them to have, like, the show be Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Buffy die in, like, series 4, and then they just, like, it come back as, like, you know, Faith the Vampire Slayer, and it just kept like it could be like Doctor Who. It could continue forever because when one dies, another one
it would appears. Just be kind of insane. I would be curious to see, like, what would happen with the characters that are remaining, in a sense. Like, how would their lives change from what we know?
Because would she have stopped, though? Would she have stopped the mayor and his ascension? Then what would have happened?
I don't think so.
So then, like, wasn't he going to kill the world?
Yeah. It would be an all-out apocalypse. I'd be curious to see that.
Like a post-apocalyptic Slayer.
Yeah.
That would be.
Have you ever thought about, like, what if Buffy Summers had never come to Sunnydale?
Oh my God, yeah. And I wish that... God, at least I didn't wish that she was never born. I was like, yeah.
I wish Willow wakes up tomorrow completely covered in monkey fur.
I think you're going to say wake up straight. I was going to say she's in.
Depends on the season.
Well, this episode that I just watched, she was her and Tara made a rose float in the air. and they were like,
Oh, we're there. You've met Anya.
Yeah.
Oh, so I can talk about it. Well, we know what would have happened if Buffy wasn't there.
Go on.
That was the joke.
Yeah, that was the joke.
Yeah, but I didn't. That's why I was like, Nick's mentioning this, which means he must have watched this by now. Then.
Yeah, he's over halfway through season 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I clicked on, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So we can talk about it. So, well, yeah, we know what would have happened because Cordelia made the wish with Anya.
Yeah, that's the joke, Liam.
Oh, is that what Yutaka's joking about? Oh, so he's just hasn't made anything up. He's just talking about an episode of Buffy that already exists.
No, he was saying it would be different because Faith, like, if she would have died then, she didn't. Because the thing with if Buffy never came to Sunnydale, there's a whole bit that would have been missed out because she's never there. That all still happens because we get to the point in series 3, then Buffy dies. So then it would be from like graduation day onwards, but it would kind of be if he maybe succeeded as an apocalypse, you could have like a cool post-apocalyptic like Faith.
Oh, okay.
Thing.
Well,
I was very confused there.
You kind of find out later on that a lot of like, okay, so say the mayor did succeed, Buffy died or whatever, and he took over Sunnydale. You'll see later on there's villains that their plans would have basically nullified the previous villains' plans. Like once you meet the bad guy in season 5, their plans. Yeah. The mayor would have been so really wouldn't have mattered.
I just want to know what's hiding in 413.
Yep.
We don't know.
314.
Anyway.
I was like, wait a minute.
Project 314. 314. Sorry, yeah, 314. Yeah, that was the episode I just watched then, where at the end, like Walsh goes into the room and it's like that number, and I was like, ooh.
She's a nasty bitch, that one.
I know, the way that she was being so rude to Giles in that episode was disgusting.
Oh my god, but when he gets out of he's like, hold on a second, he gets out of the car.
Yeah, and he goes
so funny.
And at the end, when she saw about Miss Welsh, and he's like, I know it's because you hate her. And she's like, no. Actually, yes, I hate her very much.
Yep.
So good. But no, and that's a good one. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen like that for an episode, and like post that episode. I think would have been cool.
That would be crazy if they like did that, but like for maybe an episode or 2 after, and then like kind of, I don't know. That would be interesting. Like they kept it going for more than just,
I think an anthology series could be a way to go forward if you want to do something new with Buffy, and it's like it didn't have to be in the realm of the Buffy TV series. Like with
it's a rich universe. I mean,
but like you could have so many. It could be an anthology of each season as a different Slayer, different year, different time of the year, different locations across the world, and it's kind of like there could be characters that pop up throughout them. Like there's a Giles character or something.
That'd be kind of cool.
They had a pretty popular book series back when Buffy was still airing called Tales of the Slayers. I think there was 4 volumes, and like each one told the story of like 3 different Slayers like throughout history and stuff like that. And it was really, really cool. And I really would have liked if they adapted that.
That would have been cool.
I have to look that.
Because wasn't there something called Slayers that was an audio series that came?
We don't speak of that. We don't speak of that. It was so fucking bad. I'm so sorry to anybody who's listening who liked that. It was so bad.
But like.
Look, let's be honest.
James
the people
Marsden,
that have taken Buffy in hand in recent years, just don't seem to. They seem to use the name Buffy, but don't have the quality.
They don't understand.
Terrible audio series, a terrible makeup launch.
They just don't seem to understand what made Buffy work. So it is.
I wanted ugly chalk on my face, I would go to Party City, but I don't. I want high quality makeup that looks good. It has nice packaging that actually blends in with what it is trying to.
That's why we buy House Labs here at the Horror Hour.
Or Fenty Beauty.
Or me, George Alexander. And speaking of me,
oh,
it's
my pum pum juice.
Oh my lord. Okay, well, Yutaka, thank you very much for your
well, actually,
interest in what Liam. Actually,
well, I'm going to take over. I'm going to take over from you now. So. What? He took over from me and just started hosting, so I already had a plan in place, but then he changed. So I was only giving you 2 each. And then for the end of the episode, I have a couple of what if sentences, and it is for a group discussion on what we think would happen.
Okay.
If these sentences came out. So the first one I'm going to go with is the one that I thought George would actually say. So I had it as a possibility for to go with, but he hasn't said it. So I'm going to go with it as the group one first. So that is, what if Maureen didn't try and become a movie star?
Who?
Maureen Prescott. Oh, Rena Reynolds.
Prescott? Rena Reynolds, yeah.
Oh.
What if Maureen Prescott hadn't become Rena Reynolds?
Now, I forgive me because I can't remember the timeline completely. Did she do that before she started sleeping with Billy's dad or after?
Oh, Billy's father was way after that, yeah.
Way after, okay.
Yeah. Because if you remember, so she goes to Hollywood, she gets
around.
Things happen.
Yeah.
Passed around. She becomes a pass around party bottom. Jesus Christ.
You could have just kept talking. You could have just kept going.
So once and then obviously once she's finished being used as the party bottom, it turns out obviously she's pregnant with Roman. Gives up Roman, then goes back to Woodsboro. Mm-hmm. Marries obviously Sydney's father, has Sydney, starts an affair with Billy's father.
I was gonna say she. Okay, all right.
Because what happened in this room made her a slut.
Exactly.
She never got over what happened here tonight. That night.
What if Roman was never born?
Well, that's the answer. What if Maureen didn't try and become a movie star? Well, then Roman wouldn't have been born.
Correct. There would be no Scream franchise.
Exactly.
I'm okay with that.
I still need
it. All comes down to men and S.A.
Honestly, Maxine would have been so good if it was Maureen and it was her story and it was just a one-off movie of Maureen in Hollywood and like dealing with all this stuff and she like kills somebody and that's the actual reason for the Ghostface killings to begin. And she's like,
"Oh, did you already see Maxine? We haven't talked. We'll talk later, since I know a couple of people haven't."
Yeah,
we should.
Anyway, sorry, that was a good one, though, Liam. I think that she would have been about her normal life.
Yeah. So is that the group consensus? Scream wouldn't exist, and Maureen and Sydney would have just had normal lives. Happy lives.
She may not have even met. What's its
Neil?
Neil
Prescott. Okay, cool. Next one is, what if Ash hadn't overridden Ripley's authority to let Dallas, Kane, and Lambert back on the ship?
There would be no Alien franchise. Oh well.
Well, no, because he would still have this alien would still be in him.
They would but they would still be outside the ship, and Ash's main priority though was to capture the alien
on the ship. Yeah.
So if that didn't happen, I could see But wait, why would Ash not be able to override? So I guess my one thing is maybe it could be like kind of a cat and mouse thriller throughout the ship, trying to get the alien on board. So Ash, instead of the alien actually taking them out, it's Ash.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I think that sounds like quite a good way of doing it. Different way. Well done. Anybody else got any thoughts or feelings?
I'd like to confirm my thoughts and feelings with Yutaka. Thank you.
Okay. The next one links in with something Nick had, and that is, what if John Krasinski didn't sacrifice himself to save his children?
Well, obviously they probably couldn't get a lawyer for divorce since nobody would really care, but they wouldn't be a family anymore, that's for sure. And
they'd have more food.
But they'd probably they'd end
They
up having
wouldn't
more
have to ration as much. They'd be safer.
They'd have 2 more kids though.
you think?
Well, they had this one because the other one died, so they all bloody went crooked. Be like,
Yeah. I think they would keep trying to replace.
I think at that point, I think the mom would probably unalive herself.
Yeah, I think Emily Blunt would have killed herself. That was the way. I think I would have in that universe as well. I couldn't be quiet all that time. We've all met me. Jesus.
I'm a gas.
Okay, so I also have, what if the parents didn't find out about Freddie and he was left alive?
Then he would have continued diddling kids and
I think
become one of the most prolific serial killers.
Agreed.
So we're saying A Nightmare on Elm Street would still exist, but just in a different format, because obviously it wouldn't be in Dreams. It would just be a basic slasher.
It would have been a Nightmare on Pine Avenue. Okay. He would have had to move on to a different street because apparently all the kids all lived on one single street.
Yeah, big streets in America.
So I honestly, I think Freddy would then still become like a myth and a legend just in how he's talked about. But I think, yes, he would still be like going around killing, everybody.
He would be Longlegs.
Ah!
What?
I don't know what that means. No long legs talk.
Because
it just means serial
Nicholas,
killer.
you need to calm down. He did not say anything spoilery.
I hear the word long legs and my testicles recoil inside
you are
my
becoming
body.
You're becoming George, being overly dramatic for no reason.
Oh!
This is a podcast ran by homosexuals. It's what people come to expect.
Not as of late, but yeah.
But they don't expect to say pussy.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, maybe not 2.
Get the dog up, Yutaka.
No, he's fine. He's still breathing.
So, last one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
If you think Pass Around Party Bottom was bad, what if Rosemary got an abortion?
I think that she
I thought
had.
you were going to do like a Twilight question, but okay.
What if she did pick Jacob? Then he'd be in love with his daughter. That would be weird. So I think that she would have had one. She would have left that gaslighting husband of hers, and she would have moved to Massachusetts. Now in Massachusetts, she would have been working in a local florist or grocery store. She has a beautiful house on the hill. And what happens is the coven come looking for her because she has something that she's brought with her from the flat in the apartment that proves that they were trying to do something. Her husband is also, like her ex-husband's found dead. He's killed himself. He jumped from the apartment building because she left him. No, they killed him off. And then it's sort of like a rural take, and it's like Rosemary's Farm. And like...
It sounds like it sells ice cream.
She sells ice cream.
I've heard Rosemary's Farm does a lovely mint choc chip.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that would be what I think would happen.
Nice strawberry fields.
And she would have been like chased around, and it would have been like sort of like Resident Evil 4, like where everyone in the village is like.
Oh,
honestly.
Stop it.
You're like, you might just always be a high mess, but when your brain works, it works beautifully, doesn't it?
Thank
like
you.
Nobody else here would have just off the cuff come up with a full fucking movie from a sentence in a split second.
To be honest, I like what he was saying though. He was describing.
I did as well.
I was like,
that's why I've said, like, it's, even though he is a mess most of the time, when his brain works, it works, and it works beautifully.
Autism and
It's
Mary
like a-
Jane. Together we can be better.
I have one.
Go on.
What if Rachel had never made a copy of the tape?
Oh.
You watched the tape. Who did? Her son. Sorry.
Yes. But yeah, say she threw the shit in the fire and she never made a copy. She would have died, sure, but then what is smart?
She would have died. Our son wouldn't have. He would have went on to commemorate her life. And
Please, that kid looked like he'd be doing drugs in high school. Like he looked like
Probably.
he'd probably have the needle. I don't think he'd even
Machine gun
That-
So is that kind of how George looks like? What if Ty Tennant did meth?
They look like twins. Me.
Yeah, possibly.
Do you remember when that little kid was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
yeah.
Little Jedediah.
Oh yeah, get a die.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Granny.
Little
Stay.
teeth.
Oh my god, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those two are so good. I mean, I know the second one's not that good, but when he's like, people may not know what we say here and that, but back out there, remember what we did. It's just so good to me. Anyway, so
Are you talking about the beginning?
the beginning.
I love the beginning. I think it's really, really good.
I don't mind. I don't hate it.
I think the birthing scene in the beginning is a little bit outlandish
Oh yeah.
compared to the tone of the rest of the movie. But I like Jordana Brewster a lot.
Weather's been so hot lately. It's important to drink your liquids, you know.
And Matt Bomber before he became Matt Bomber, you know.
Drink your juice, Shelby. Drink your juice.
God, poor Shelby. I feel like a part of me's dying with her. What were we talking about?
Did y'all just
I
switch
wanna
to...
Megan
Steel
Harper.
Magnolias.
No,
Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
I love Steel Magnolias so much, and then I always forget how sad it is. So I'm always just
It's
going, I'm
so
going to put
sad.
Steel Magnolias on because Dolly Parton and Shirley MacLaine are great. And then I'm like, and then it gets the end, and I'm just sitting there getting a puddle of tea. Why did I do this to myself again?
I used to watch that movie like every weekend growing up, and I was obsessed. I was like, I need like orange juice. I have to keep my blood sugar high. I cannot end up like her.
I've never watched. What's it about?
Steel
You've never seen
Magnolias.
Steel
I knew that was
Magnolias?
coming. Yep. I
It's
knew
kind
that
of
was
just
coming.
like I think they're in Louisiana because like they're in that
Yeah.
like north, but it's about like
Yeah.
a bunch of like women. It's just like a slice of life type movie. So it's just like here are the lives of all of these sort of like middle-aged women, like including like Dolly Parton, Sally Field, and all this other stuff. And Julia Roberts is in it, and she's like a diabetic, and it's a whole thing. But it's really, really good. But it is so sad.
Is it like? It sounds like Joy Luck Club, Yutaka.
I don't know if it's as fucked up as Joy Luck Club.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I don't think Nick's seen Joy Luck Club, nor has Liam.
No.
it's a I would watch it, guys. On you would cry to shitely.
I keep meaning to watch it. I mean, hell, of course I'll cry. I cried at Celine Dion singing at the Olympics last night.
Oh,
Like-
so good. So good. Oh my god. So good.
Like, she was just singing and I was like, oh, it's beautiful. She's doing so well. And then when she pulled that look to be like, I'm doing it. And she was so happy. I broke down. I just broke down. I was like, well done, Celine.
I
You've
just
done us
can't
all
believe-
proud.
Can't believe that Gaga didn't do Swine.
Why would she do? You dumbass.
I can't believe she performed on
Well,
a
it was-
proverbial street corner.
Yeah, and
Like,
it was
low
pre-recorded.
production value.
It was pre-recorded.
Yeah, there's a video of them showing it, and like they pan to the same places it's being shown, and there's just people there like with flags going like this. I'll find it. It was on Twitter.
Yeah, I think people thought it was a rehearsal video, but yeah, I think it was pre-recorded because even
yeah,
during the
definitely.
live thing when they pull out, like there's not a crowd.
I didn't even realize that. It was a good performance ish.
Yeah. There was problems. There was sound engine, like the sound engineer for the whole opening ceremony of the Olympics needed shot with shit. Like for 90% of it, I could hear the rain louder than I could hear the people singing.
Yeah.
Do you hear the people sing?
But yeah, we'll save that for the after hours.
Okay.
Sorry, George. You can close us out now.
Oh, thank you
I've
so
run out of
much.
questions.
I love closing out. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you did enjoy this, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We've got, obviously, if you want us on Twitter and Instagram, we're at the Horror Hour TV. We have a Patreon as well. You get access to these too. There's also us on our various other channels. Yutaka is currently doing Doctor Who reactions, and it's fabulous. So do go check out his
Fabulous.
channel. Nick's also doing Doctor Who. His is just behind a paywall though, so you do have to pay to see it.
No, I don't work for free.
I'm behind a paywall too. Don't sit
no.
here and try and shade Nick. Like we both.
Yutaka, you can get some really early access compared to what's out on his channel. Liam's
But
available.
what's more important is you can get early access to this.
Yes,
Who would
and
miss that out? I don't know. I'm sorry.
and then Liam is available on Twitter. He usually is tweeting about Girls Aloud or something about people
Kicking ass on Fortnite.
Yeah, on Fortnite. Yeah. And then me, I'm George, and you can find me here, and you can find me at George Alexander, where I am copiously through Buffy and Angel and House of the Dragon, and yeah, it's busy over there. So pop over if you want to see mediocre reactions to a show that aired 30 years ago. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.